Hi everyone, welcome back to MB's EDC Confidential. Today I'm really pleased to have Andrew here from Baxter's Blades. So we're going to go through the usual questions. Hopefully we'll find out a lot more about Andrew and his channel. I'm sure many of you watch it anyway. And stay around to the end because I've got a really good keep carry scrap for Andrew. So I'm hoping it's going to be a difficult choice, but we'll see how it goes. Great. So, I did a little bit of research. So I think you have over 700 videos up.
Yes. Yeah, I think I just recently went over 700 videos, and that's shorts combined.
Yeah. And you've got just over 1,500 subscribers.
Yeah, I think today it was at 1,529.
Ah, brilliant. It's, I think once you get past 1,000, it's not so important, but it's nice to know that you're getting more people interested, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think when I finally hit 1,000, I'm like, whew, yay, I can relax now. I broke 1,000, but I've noticed I've been pushing a little bit harder for some reason.
I did the same to get to 2, and but I had a few dry patches along the way. And I think I said earlier, I'm in one at the moment where it just seems to be slow adding new subscribers. But, I think that's just part of the fun of doing YouTube, I think, isn't it? So
yeah, and having a lot of content out there, I'm still getting people checking out older videos and getting comments on a lot of older videos. And I did have one video blow up about my custom 112 unboxing. I think it's over 42,000 views. And
that's great.
So I find I'm just picking up subscribers, and every day I just look and there's more subscribers. It's not as much of a battle as it used to be.
It's nice not having to look at it so much. When you're trying to get to that 1K, that magic figure.
Yeah,
I was sort of checking it 3 times a day almost at some point. It's crazy, really, but it's good to be able to relax and just sort of focus on making videos and talking to people. So shall we start with a pocket check? So what are you planning to carry today?
Well, today I have the Baron Son 4-inch. I call it the Daddy Barlow. This is their modern one with torque screws. It is D2. I don't have that many modern slip joints. I have maybe 2 other ones. I do prefer pin construction, but I want to try this one in D2. I am a fan of black coated blades. They do tend to get scratched up when you use them, but I wanted to pick up a white bone, and they have it in stainless steel, but I already had the stag bone in stainless, so I figured I would try this. It does have washers in there. Fit and finish is really good. Ken of Last Chance Knives just posted a video last night.
Right.
And then I haven't carried this one for a long time, but this is just the Case Texas Jack. I think it's called the small Texas Jack in amber bone, and it is carbon steel. And I'm like, well, I need to carry this. It's a good, to me, it's a smaller little pocket dropper. I mean, it's not 3 inches, but a good small little knife.
That's nice. I really like that.
Really trying to collect more of the carbon steel. I have a lot of Case. I recently posted the part 1 of my collection, and part 2 is going to be coming up. And the majority of cases are stainless steel, so it's nice when they have a carbon steel one to pick it up.
Yeah, I'm quite a lazy. I don't consider myself a knife collector. I don't have that many knives. I'm in the Discord group, and since I joined Slip Joint Sawyer's Discord group, I bought a lot more knives. I give people a warning there. If there's what I think we worked out, the chat was somewhere between about 1% and 5% is on knives. The rest is about a load of other crap.
Stuff, for sure. That's one of the reasons I'm not on the Discord that much is I buy enough knives as it is. I don't.
But at NKD New Knife Day is a big thing, and everybody's showing their new knives or what they've just ordered.
Okay.
So you do get caught up in it. So I'm too lazy to have a lot of carbon blades. I think I wouldn't look after them properly. I'm more with stainless. I just do my carry. It's not so much about me, but as I don't have so many knives, a lot of mine come up. This is the Victorinox Hercules. I got this from Dan, Bladebridge Dan, who does customs, but he does refurbished. This is an older one because it has a locking blade, but it's the older mechanism.
Oh, cool.
They've moved on to a liner lock now. But I wanted this because it has pliers and scissors and a saw. So it's not legal carry in the UK, but I've been in the garden most of the day, so having this is really handy. So,
is that because the blade's too long, or it's a locking blade?
It's both. It's the locking blade means it's not legal carry, but also the blade is more than 3 inches. And as well, I think, and the saw is just huge on this.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would include that as a blade as well.
Oh, okay.
So so that puts it out, but it's really handy for stuff in the garden. You know, you could use this for a bit of bushcrafting as well. But
like a great camp knife.
I really like it. It's a bit heavy for a normal carry, but it's good to have. I've been on this search for my ideal Victorinox, and I think I said on Jesse and on Randy's live, I don't think there is an ideal one. I think they have to do that on purpose. So you have to purchase different ones. So I sort of have my ideal one for the day I have ahead, whether I'm in the office or in the garden, and I'm trying not to buy any more Victorinox.
Yeah, I'll try to make one for every situation. And I think, you know, they have Slipjoint Sawyer's number because he loves them and has to get them all. I have a couple, and they're mostly just Tinkers and like an SD Classic and some older ones that were gifted to me.
Yeah, some of them can be quite expensive in the US, I think, as well. It depends, but often they're sort of more than the normal dollar-pound conversion. Well,
they are quality knives.
Oh, they are, and they're always good. There's hardly ever any gapping or anything, and the blades are easy to sharpen as well. For me, I'm not great at sharpening, so I don't want a super steel. I want something that I can sharpen.
For sure.
So, how long have you been creating videos on YouTube then, Andrew?
Well, my first video was May 11th of last year, so probably 1 year and a couple of weeks. My first short was March 14th of last year. So, and it really just was me in the shed, just like kind of popping out my knife and showing it for 15 seconds. Not even with music. Didn't even really start. I think I was going to start like a YouTube channel or anything. So just really over a year, which I'm kind of blown away that I was hoping to hit 1,200 subscribers by my year, and I kind of surpassed that by a couple of hundred. So
no, that's good going. I mean, good going on subscribers and on videos. I mean, you're very, very prolific in that time. And I haven't been going much longer, but I've had a lot fewer. So, sorry, my Instagram is bing bonging in the.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I struggle to make a lot of videos, but I mean, yeah, fair play. Over 700 in that time is amazing.
Yeah, and I try to release like a video a day, but it can be tiring to reply to the comments, get back home, and then make another video. So every once in a while, I'll take a little break. I do find myself making a list of videos I need to make to remember, because you get some knives that you might forget about it.
I have a few knives in my drawer that I don't have a lot, so I have a sort of toolbox with them in, but I keep them in my drawer until I've made a video about them. And I found a couple in my drawer that I forgot that I bought. So I daren't tell my wife. She thinks I buy too many as it is. So you've been going just over a year. So what inspired you to start your own YouTube channel?
Well, like I said, I really never thought I was starting a channel. It just kind of slowly happened. I'd say Big Red EDC, JB, he's a channel that I had been watching, and I really liked his style. He was just very casual, not a lot of editing. And watching his channel and watching some shorts and other people's shorts, I kind of, like I said, would just like kind of show a knife in a short. And then I started to really have a lot of fun with posting a short with songs because as most of you know, I used to be a musician. I haven't played in a long time, but I was getting a kick out of tying these songs in with showing the knife, and I was just getting a laugh out of it. And some of my friends were just having fun with it. We just have a good time and just be cracking up. And so that's kind of what into it. When I started to realize that I'm kind of getting a channel going here. I mean, RJ had invited me to be on his live show, and I was thinking, I don't know much about knives, and the summer season was here, and I'm going to be riding my motorcycle. So yeah, maybe sometime. But I remember, I was posting wide varieties of modern knives, slip joints, and Slip Joint Sawyer and Thrifty have their own show, and they did an episode on the top 30 traditional knife channels. And I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to be on this. And they nominated me as number 24.
Oh, wow.
And so that really, it kind of blew my mind. And that really made me want to focus a little bit more on, doing better content, not just like showing a bunch of knives. And I did tend to notice that my slip joints and traditionals were getting more views than moderns. There's a lot of modern knife channels out there. And so after that really inspired me to kind of try to kick it into overdrive a bit.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, I think people like Thrifty Kniffy and Slippy and RJ and Big J as well. I think they've been really good. Oh, and Tom from Knife Delights.
Oh, yeah.
Because Tom invited me onto his sort of chat, recorded chat show fairly early on in my YouTube journey.
Yeah, that was like my second show, was being on his show.
Yeah, he's great. I need to get him on this one, actually. So I need, as long as Junior doesn't come out. Junior scares me a bit.
He is kind of a backwoods hick. Another thing that kind of inspired me was just all the people in the community, because if it wasn't for everybody who were inspiring and the group community, I probably just would have just showed some knives and that would have been it. But when I started to realize that there's something more going on here, that was another big inspiration to keep doing it, for sure.
I don't know if it's the same in other sort of genres or niches on YouTube, but that surprised me as well.
Yeah.
And so was there a point at which you thought, oh, I'm a YouTuber now, or have you said to somebody that you're a YouTuber?
Yeah, I kept it secret from a lot of my friends for a while because I thought they would make fun of me, and even my father. I didn't even tell my father for a good half a year. But I think somewhere around 4th of July of last year, I think I did a video on why I started my channel and everything, and that's kind of when I started to realize that I guess I'm a YouTuber. And I was very confused at the beginning. I was like, should I be going for a lot of subscribers? I mean, I just was doing it for fun, so I never really thought like, hey, I'm gonna try to make money at this, and I'm trying to get as many subscribers. I didn't really want to cater to what other people wanted. I just kind of wanted to show my knives, and I realized I wasn't quite as particular and focused of a reviewer like, let's say, Thrifty Kniffy. And he's very, and I love watching his videos. When I wanted to look for a knife and he did a review, I would go check it out. Yeah. But I was more just kind of showing what I had and would talk about it.
Yeah. I think that's good. And I think what's nice is that there's room for those lots of different styles of presentation. Yeah,
every channel's different. That's what's kind of cool. Everybody has different perspective on things. And
yeah, I really like that. And especially, I think if there's been a knife that I've been looking at and I've seen maybe 3 videos on that knife, and because they come up one after the other, don't they, once you put them in, and it's amazing how you get a full sort of 360 view by looking at 2 or 3 videos. So my next question, so obviously you were doing videos about knives, but motorbikes and music are a big thing for you as well, and I'm sure other things. So why on sort of pocket knives? What made you sort of focus on that?
It was kind of my latest obsession, and yeah, I was getting really into them, and when I first started collecting, it was mostly just moderns. I had a few fixed blades and knives, but when I started getting into it, I really liked the moderns and the ease of use on the job site. And I always thought like traditionals, they're so cumbersome. It takes two hands to open them up. Why would people want to spend that money on them? And as I started getting into them, I just thought there's just so much pleasure in it. It was kind of like old motorcycles versus modern motorcycles. Sure, modern ones are going to be more reliable, but older ones are just more fun to tinker with. And
sort of more character and
And so as far as deciding on my niche, I mean, like I said, the Slippy Thrifty show really kind of made me decide I should focus a little bit more on traditional pocket knives. Summer's here, and I might be out riding the motorbike, and I find it fun just to post a little short of the motorbike. Some people out in the community really like that.
Yeah.
Or just being on a local ferry here and not showing a motorbike. I've had 1,300 views of just the ferry chugging along down through the sound. Sometimes I like to post a little variety to draw people in. And
no, it's cool. I think it's good because I think a channel is sort of a bit about you, isn't it, as a person and some of the things that interest you. So it's nice. Not everybody likes those things, and but I guess it just it's that's the fun of doing it, isn't it? It's a bit like fishing, isn't it? It's sort of like putting out some bait and seeing what people like. I find that interesting as well. And which sort of leads me into how do you come up with the ideas for your videos? Because I saw you had a list of videos to make. So how do you decide what you want to do?
A lot of for videos, a lot of it is what knife is coming in that I want to do a video of. As far as like shorts and stuff, sometimes a song will just inspire me. Sometimes I'll be on a whim at work. I'll be in a different location or see a background and be like, oh, I'll post a short. A lot of it's spontaneous, but a lot of my ideas come from a beer.
I mean, tell me about it.
When I first started, I thought I was in the back of my head. I'm like, Barlows and beer would be a good combination, and I don't see anybody else doing it, and I'm kind of glad I picked up on that. And I don't really promote. I don't want to promote, the use of alcohol or anything, but I'll just show a different beer in the episode, and I may take a sip, but it's mostly about the Barlows. But
well, I think I'm sure you do the same. I tick the box which says not for kids on my video. So and we're talking about knives which are generally not for kids, and I made a big mistake of giving my 3 kids each a knife this week, and 2 of them had cut themselves within 10 minutes. And
well, they gotta learn somehow.
Well, exactly. But so kids and knives probably isn't a good thing, but I think beer and knives is. I was watching. I can't remember what it was for now, but it was it's like a micro brewery review channel, but they had some EDC stuff as well, which was interesting. I think it was a Victorinox that I was looking at, and I thought, I wish I'd thought of that as a channel, because I could I could have a beer that I'm reviewing. So it probably wouldn't work so well across different countries, maybe, because beers are often quite local, unless they're the beers I probably don't drink as much. Which are
that's what I found out here. A lot of beers I'll show will be like local breweries that you can't get all over the world.
Yeah. But it's still interesting to know what they're like, even if you can't sort of taste along. But I think I've had a few beer-inspired ideas. So,
and as far as other ideas for videos, sometimes I don't know if I come home and I see an open tag or something, I'm like, I'll jump in on that. Sometimes I'll just quickly record a video to throw it out there to kind of be a part of that open tag if I can jump in on it. I try to be as spontaneous as possible. And I also do a little. I know a lot of people aren't totally into trappers. I know RJ is, and I am into trappers. And I thought, hey, I want to show some trappers. So I decided to do like, hey, how about Trapper Talk with Baxter? And so now when I do a trapper video, a lot of times I'll just call it that.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I really like the open tags. I don't have enough knives to jump on most of them, and I just don't have enough time. And yeah, I think when I have done, most of my videos haven't done that well. But it's not about that. I think it's just finding the time to do that, as well as the ones I'm planning. And I normally have a few ideas for videos and some rough scripts. When I say a script, I just do a mind map with things I want to talk about. And so I have a few of those on the go. I have a few recorded and then a few to edit. So yeah, it can be a while sometimes. And unless it's like, if I'm really excited about something, I'll film it, edit it, put it out. If I, but it's hard. Do you batch yours at all, or do you just do them?
I've been starting to record them in batches, like on the weekend, getting some going. I think a lot of ease of my channel is I don't really know how to do that much editing, and I've recently been able to kind of splice some videos together, but I think that makes it a little easier that I'm not spending a bunch of time editing. I do like channels where they do have editing, and I'm like, well, I still got to figure out how to do that. But I usually will just press record and go at it. If I make a mistake, maybe I'll re-record it. Sometimes I will just press pause and relocate the camera, and that's as far as my editing goes.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I do some editing, and mainly to remove a lot of my ers and ums, which I have a lot of those, and I've had comments about it as well. So I've got a bit conscious about that. I used to use Canva because I'd used it to do some. I did some print on demand stuff, which I found out I wasn't good at doing t-shirt designs. So I was just trying to do something just as a bit of a side hustle, just to try something different, learn some new skills. So I used Canva quite a lot for that, and you can use it for video editing as well. But then I use a proper video editor now, and it is difficult because there's lots of channels and things because I never got into doing photography editing, editing of photographs, because I could never get the hang of all the different layers and skins and all of those things.
I found in the beginning on as far as photos for my thumbnails and stuff, I didn't want a lot of flashy stuff and hey, this is this, because a lot of it was in the title. I just wanted a decent photo, and I realized on my phone, if I edited the photo, I kind of found a little way to just enhance the photo and make the color pop, and I think that was a good way of drawing people in. As far as editing videos, you can do it on the phone. It's really hard sometimes to figure out some of these editing apps, and using your fingers and you mess up, it can be frustrating. I think if I had a more modern computer where I could upload my video to the computer and then edit it on there, I think that would be definitely easier. And I think that's a route I may eventually take.
Yeah, I do all of mine on except for shorts. Shorts I'll do on the phone because it's just easier. And my shorts tend to be super short, like 10 seconds, unless I've strung a few. Sometimes I string a few clips of videos together. If I've been out for a walk with the kids, then I'll sort of pick a few of those and put those together. But my son gave me a laptop, so he's quite techie. So in fact, I think about half of my equipment came from him, so which has been handy because I'm not so good.
Well, and the shorts, I mean, that's all I could do in the beginning was little 15-second shorts, and I kind of. When I got my new phone, I was like, I want to do like at least a minute clip to show the knife a little bit more, have more music. And I realized that you may not get as many views on those longer ones because people watching shorts just want a little short clip. So I'll tend to get more views on my 15-second ones than my 1 minute ones.
Yeah, that's why I thought it's not worth doing a huge production on a short. I think unless you've got a really good story, it's quite difficult to do that, isn't it? When you're showing a knife and having a story. But then if you can have a longer video, you can have more music, which I think is good as well. But I still am confused about shorts. I try and put one out once a week. Well, I try and do 2 or 3 a month if I can, but they're all over the place, and it's I don't really know what I'm doing.
It's a good way to get people just kind of into your channel. I think that's maybe why I got so many subscribers so fast, is because just posting shorts, and every once in a while you get a good one, or some of my older videos with no music, just on a buck knife in the shed, I'll look and I've gotten like 12 subscribers, and I still keep getting subscribers from them. And you may get some from videos, but it seems like I get a lot more from shorts.
Yeah, it's interesting, that, isn't it? And I don't think that many people seem to watch my shorts once they've had that short burst, and you can watch the views go up, and then it sort of flattens. I don't seem to get many after that. I think it's just the algorithm just sort of moves on to something, because there are so many, I guess. But that's really good if people go back to them.
I've noticed that a lot too. It'll flatten out, but for some reason my buck knives continue to go up. Like I did one on the beach last year, and I look at it and it still like seems to slowly keep crawling up, and I'm not sure.
I like those ones. They're good, aren't they? Just to see them clocking up.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that, but I do think at a point the algorithm's like, okay, this has got enough views, and just kind of doesn't push it or anything.
Yeah. I think one of the other knife guys said, if you want to get a load of views, just do like a buck 110.
That's some of my most viewed videos are on buck knives or custom bucks. Like I would say my buck 112 custom, which is just a really simple one with oak and 420 high carbon. When I did this video, it was my first custom. I took forever even to pull out the knife. I was just talking, and 7 minutes later, I finally pulled out the knife, and I'd get angry comments like, "Show the knife already." I'm like, well, just fast forward through it. But now I'm at 42,000 views on that, and I'm like, I didn't expect that at all. I've noticed the same with a lot of Victorinox videos too. Some channels get a lot of views on their Victorinoxes.
My 2 best ones. One is for a Victorinox sharpener, that odd sort of pen-shaped sharpener that they had. And then I did another one which was a mini toolkit to replace a Leatherman, because in theory we can't carry a Leatherman because they've got a locking blade. I think people do, but there is a risk it could get taken from you if you got stopped and searched. Not that many people, I'm a 60-year-old granddad. I'm not going to get stopped and searched unless I'm doing something. So, but I just did a video as a replacement for that, and it was all about the tool selection. So I think there was a good story there. I didn't realize I was telling a story, but I think, and that has been my best one, and that's had about 150,000. So that was, but apart from those 2, most of my videos don't get that many views. I have a few that gradually clock up, and some of those are Victorinox, and but it did spoil me though. So I think I've said to some other people that, I thought I was really good at this YouTube stuff, and then you soon get brought down to earth when you put out another video and you get like 90 views and stuff like that. That's a crazy thing. I don't understand.
And I think the masses are more. It's more multi-tools are more appealing. Like, so a guy's at work and he realizes he wants like a tool. He more is likely to get a Leatherman or even a Swiss Army knife, because they're kind of like one of the original camp knives, multi-tools, and they're not just a knife. And I think a lot of people in the workplace can get away with them a little bit easier. And so they're probably. A lot of people probably watch a lot of videos on them. I have a couple of Leathermans just from my grandpa, but they don't have a locking blade on them. They're the older ones.
No, the older ones, the original PSTs don't. And you can buy. I could buy a Leatherman Bond, but it was more interesting to make a video as a sort of a thought experiment about, how could I replace this? And of course, you end up with something that's more bulky and a little bit heavier. There are a few guys. There's a guy called, I think it's Todd Parker. He did a super lightweight sort of toolkit to go in his pocket. But I don't have the patience to go through everything and work out how to get this. He was sawing the end off things to make them lighter, and I don't have the patience to do that.
Yeah, Ken of Last Chance Knives, he would actually even modify his Leathermans, like certain tools he would modify, which was fascinating. I used to carry one every day when I lived on my sailboat and sailed a lot. But I'd keep it in a sheath on my belt. I find I don't carry one as much because most of the time I'm at work and I have a tool bag. But sheath on the belt.
Yeah, and I find because I can't carry it around, I used to have one. In fact, I realized until I looked into it, until I had this channel, I didn't realize that I was carrying it in my work bag illegally. I mean, when I say work bag, I worked in an office, so I just had it there in case I needed it for something. So now I don't use it, and so I haven't really bothered to replace it. So you had your video with over 40,000 views on that. So is that your favorite, or have you got another one which is your favorite, or the one you're most proud of?
I'm pretty proud of that one. I think it's just funny that it took me so long to pull out the knife. It was like building the suspense. It's like I got the package. I'm like, yay, it's finally here. And I just wanted to kind of talk about the reasoning behind me getting it and the reasoning why I picked the options. It was a very difficult process to decide. I'm pretty proud of that one because it has so many views. But there's other videos I've done. I like to do like kind of a little short film sometime. And I did one. It's called My Name's Andrew and I'm a Knifeaholic. And I thought that was fun. When I first did that, I was just laughing at it so much because it was kind of a joke, but a lot of it was, all the points were really true.
Yeah.
And
I saw that one. I really liked it because it summed up knife collectors in general.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. So I like doing those. I do have in the early days, Ken of Last Chance Knives would always post a 2 for Tuesday, and it would be like Monday night, and I would always be like, it's not Tuesday yet, but in his time zone it was. So
okay, yeah,
we were going back and forth on an idea. Like I see you sitting behind the computer, like Good, Bad, and the Ugly movie, like having sitting there with your hand shaking over the mouse, waiting for it to be midnight. And I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. So I did a short film on that. And they don't have that many views, but when I first started, I was really getting into trying to do something a little bit different. And for not being able to edit, I don't know how I pulled those off. But I really like those. And like I said, I'm kind of proud of my One More Barlow, One More Beer series. It's nice when I get a new Barlow to be like, oh yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done one, and what beer am I going to do with this Barlow next?
I really like that idea. It's sort of, it's that alliteration of the beer and Barlow goes well together, doesn't it? And just thinking about looking at the knife and enjoying a beer at the same time. I like that sort of a different sort of pace. That's because a lot of stuff is. I mean, the thing I like is that most because they're knives, most of us aren't throwing them around, and so most knife videos are fairly quiet and relaxed, and they're not rushed too much. I mean, there are a few channels out there where they're chopping stuff and crazy stuff in the woods and things like that. But I quite like these ones just for the fact that they are, it is a bit of quiet time, taking things slow, looking at the different features. I quite like that aspect of knife videos.
And a lot of reasons people watch some of these videos are they're thinking about that knife. They're like, oh, I hear there's a new knife and they want to get a good look at it before they actually purchase it. And that's why I was drawn to Thrifty Kniffy. And another thing I noticed though is sometimes you might see the knife, it's farther down on the table. So I really try to do a really good close up of the covers, to show you the depth of the bone and things like that, just to give people like kind of a closer look. Sometimes I'll do measurements, sometimes not. A lot of the measurements are listed in the specs of the knife, but
I try and throw in the measurements as well. I think that's just the completer finisher in me that wants to wants to do that. But I try and keep it fairly brief, and I've pre-measured it or got it. So and then I just put up a little tag just on the screen, just saying, it's 3.4 inches or And I do it in inches as well, because I realize a lot of the people watching are from the US. So
Yeah.
Although I still find it crazy that you might quote something as something like 6.732 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So you've gone to 3 decimal places on inches rather than use millimeters, which would sort of do it in one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another story. I think you've given us a bit of a hint here. So what are the main challenges you face as a creator?
Finding time to do content, especially in summer. I mean, I let RJ know that if it's a nice day, I'm not going to be stuck indoors behind a computer doing a live. I'm going to be out on my motorcycle, because in the Northwest, the riding season, I mean, you can ride year round here, but it's no fun in winter in the rain and cold.
Yeah.
Another thing is a challenge would be, like I said before, is just trying to maintain that interaction with all the subscribers when they comment, to get back to them and say thank you. And and like, if you have a viral video, you come home and you have 30 or 40 comments you got to reply to.
Yeah.
And another one would be my lack of ability to edit. I think if I delve into that a little bit more, but that adds more challenges. Then it's more time to take to edit a lot of these videos.
It takes time. I can, for sort of 10 or 15 minutes filming, for a 10-minute video, 10 or 15 minutes filming, and then I could edit for, and I don't go into it in as much detail as some people do. I mean, that can take me an hour to maybe 3 hours editing for some things.
But like anything, the more time you spend doing it and more time you put into that, you do get quality videos. Like, sometimes I just like, hey, I don't even know what I'm saying when I go into the video. I'll just start showing a knife and start talking, and I'll watch it afterward. If it's really bad, I won't post it. But sometimes if I flub a word or you say something wrong, I may not realize it till after I posted it.
Yeah. I think that's, I quite like that in a video, though. I don't like it to be, if I'm watching a video, I like to see some mistakes. Sometimes it can come across as too polished.
True. Like music, it's nice to, that's what makes it human, people's mistakes that you may not notice, but they notice. And that human aspect of it's kind of nice. And the character that everybody brings to their own channel.
Yeah. So I like, so it's mainly time, and then maybe your editing isn't quite where you'd like it to be for the ideas you have for your videos. So, that's I think that's part of the, I mean, the time is always an issue when you work. I at some point I'll be retired, and I can hopefully I'll still be making videos then. So it's coming at me fairly quickly now, but I'd quite like to have a bit more time for this.
Yeah, a lot of times at work, I would, if I'm carrying different knives during that day, if I'm in an area to do a short, I would like to just post a short. Sometimes I'm so busy, I get home and realize, oh, I didn't post what I was carrying today. Just like to show knives. Time. Sometimes you're just too busy to do anything, and you get home and then you start doing chores and cooking dinner and realize, well, I guess I'll do my video tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. And then what do you like most about your YouTube experience?
I think just like I said earlier, getting to know the community and the people I've met in this community. There can be some sour ones, but majority of everybody is just very kind. I like the fact that we can all come from different backgrounds, have different political views, different religious views, but most of us do not talk about them. We just enjoy the hobby. And I think this brings people together that normally wouldn't be brought together. And I like that aspect of it. And I try to stay away from any political talk or any religious talk. There are a few channels who do that, and that's fine. That's what they want to do. But we're here to talk about knives. And I think it's just the people I've met. I could just go on and on about, just Randy was so kind when I first started, and he was shouting at my channel. And he's just very kind and very straightforward in short videos. And Ken of Last Chance Knives, he just does some awesome modifications, and he repairs knives. He's very particular. and then people like RJ, and then Slippy and Thrifty's humor, just all the characters out there, and all these people I've met online that I would have never met before.
Yeah. I think that's been the great thing about this. I think it's the people, and Randy especially is such a lovely guy, and so kind, and I think we've sort of nicknamed him the nicest guy on YouTube. You know, certainly the knife community.
He's awesome, and he does take the time to go check out videos, and that's what sometimes I'll get home and say, you know, I'm not gonna make a video tonight. I'm gonna just watch other people's channels, and I try to, like, you know, and everyone I watch, I like to at least comment on, and just kind of get out there. And but Randy and like Mike Curtis, they can just be everywhere, and I'm like, how do they find time to do all this?
And I think it's amazing, especially, and I mean, there are some other people who don't have channels, but are very regular viewers, which is always great. And you know, I'm always sort of waiting for them to comment, you know, and that's when I know I've done okay, if I get some of my regulars to comment. So,
and I know some people can hook up their YouTube to their TV, so some people probably get home from work, and instead of watching the normal doom and gloom news, they probably just have their playlist and sit there and watch videos on TV.
I used to do that before I started making videos, and I had more time. I was always fighting the kids to get access to the TV. But yeah, I used to love watching YouTube. But I'm not sure my channel, because I think it's great when you have these sort of cinematic videos, you know, and there are a few channels that do really well with those, and I think that they're sort of better for the TV. I think a lot of people watch on their phone and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I find myself on my phone a lot.
Yeah, and you gave a clue though to some of the channels and creators, but which ones do you really admire for their, you know, for doing, you know, fantastic videos that you would aspire to be like?
Well, I had mentioned Ken Last Chance Knives. I don't know if I could ever measure up to you know, his ability, but he started about the same time as me. I think he started a little bit earlier, and I was just fascinated. Like, he had the gonads to go in and straighten a case blade, and, you know, and rehammer it down. And I'm like, well, all of us were terrified to even touch our expensive knife. He'd go and do it, and he'd fix it instead of sending it back. And just others, I really admire his channel. And then, of course, Big Red EDC. I've always admired his channel. He's just very kind. He does the hashtag DSKFS, do something kind for somebody.
Yeah.
And he's always gifting stuff and giving stuff away. Now, I understand he gets a lot of knives from manufacturers and stuff, so he's probably like, what do I got to do with them? But I've won knives from his channel, and I always thought that was nice, just kind of giving back to the community a lot. Randy's WSG, I really admire just his kindness, and him just being out there. And he was given my channel and, you know, Steel City Knives Martin shout outs when we first started, and which reminded me last night, instead of me just posting a community page trying to promote a beginning channel, I really should just sit down and do a shout out video to a bunch of new channels. To kind of, I thought that was a great idea. And he would pull out a knife for each channel. Also, the Kirby Creek outfit, Mo, he's up here in the Northwest near me, and he's really into buck knives, or a lot of the American made knives. And we all know he does whittling and awesome, but some of his shorts, I just blow my mind. He puts some thought into it, and he can just have a great sense of humor. And I even though he doesn't post a lot of content all the time, he'll do a lot of trail camera stuff on his property, and just animals. He's not trying to shoot to the top. He's just doing his thing. And I really admire a lot of those channels for a sense of humor. And even Randy fiddling with knives, sometimes I get scared. Like, he's moving really fast around the blade, and I'm like, oh no, he's going to cut himself again.
I think we all get a bit scared of some of those, and of course it's around the Discord group. If you cut yourself, especially on camera, it's called doing a Randy now. So he's been immortalized into that. And he was the first one I thought of when I had 2 children come in with cuts on their fingers after this week, and I was getting the band-aids out and sorting them out, and it made me think of Randy straight away. And of course, because handling knives, you do get the odd cut, and especially when you're doing it through the camera as well, because it's always difficult to do.
Fiddle with it for sure.
Yeah.
Or you accidentally bump your hand on the blade because the camera and everything's in the way.
Yeah. And or just mindlessly just sort of messing with something, and then I realize that the blade hasn't fully opened, and I got to push it with my thumb to fully open it, and then and that's when I get a cut on my thumb. It happens a lot, doesn't it? Okay, that's good. So anybody else on that list, or have you covered them all?
I think that's about it. I mean, there's just so many great channels out there. Those guys, I just really admire what they do, what they bring to the table.
Yeah, I think there's some brilliant guys on that list as well. And so here's one for you to think about. And for EDC, just think knife. So what's your best purchase that you've made, and what's your worst that you had?
It's tough to pick one. I mean, obviously I like case knives, and I did pick up a persimmon orange trapper, but one of my favorites this is actually the recent buck of the month, the April. And I'm not even a huge guy into fixed blades because living in the city, I don't really carry them on my belt that much. But when I go up to the hills, and I don't really hunt that much, but to me, this really nice. It's based after the 112 Ranger, and it's S35 VN, beautiful ebony, bare head, and it might be a little pricey. This is one of my favorite purchases. Besides, obviously, my custom 112, I recently got a custom 110. But I did. I mean, it's hard to decide, but Kaylin Gunslinger Cal turned me on to this, and this is the Tiger laying down. I'm a huge orange fan. I've been wanting to put them in orange and smooth, and on the back you got the tiger striped. So I thought
that's nice. Yeah, that's really nice.
It kind of goes with the channel really well.
Yeah.
Being the tired tiger, that tiger's just kicking it right there. That's another one of my best purchases.
Yeah. And worst? What are some
worst? I did pick up a Pakistani. I don't know if I have it here. It was just a frost. It was a Coke bottle, and I really like the Coke bottle, but this one was made in Pakistan. I figured I'd give it a try. And granted, it was only $7 or $8, but the walk and talk was really horrible. And I know there's better examples out there, and it probably was just a knife. I don't know if that's my worst because it was very little money. And I do like Junkin' Genius does these hanks, and I wouldn't call it a bad purchase. I just find myself, I purchased a few of them, and I just don't carry them that much. So I don't know if that is considered a poor purchase.
I think that's an interesting take on it, because I think there are often things that we buy thinking, oh yeah, that's really great, and then actually we don't use
it that much. But if I do go up to my friend's cabin or camping, I will bring one just to have something to wipe off the knife. But I don't know. I guess I found out I'm not really a hank guy, but
I don't think I have like a pocket handkerchief, which, because I'm an older person and a granddad, I have that in my pocket, which I use to wipe my nose on. During COVID, I stopped and I had tissues and that, but I still find it useful just to have that. But I change it every day, so that sort of thing is fine. But these sort of hanks, which are different, I think some of them, they have microfiber on the back for cleaning and stuff. I'm not sure I'd find a great use. I might have one on my desk, but that would probably be it.
And they're cool, and they come in beautiful patterns.
Oh yeah.
And I guess it harkens, like you said, back to the day when people always just carried a hank. I don't feel like I'd blow my nose on these, but I guess
no, they don't look suitable to blow your nose on. I don't think.
I guess you could just wash it when you get home.
I think the hanks as well. I think they're in with that sort of sort of leather, titanium, brass, hank, sort of very stylized carry, which some people have. And I think it's amazing if that's your thing, and
Yeah.
that, you know, and I'm not very coordinated in colors and things. So
Yeah.
I think it goes along with that sort of, which makes a fantastic Instagram picture, doesn't it? With the with your carry on your hank,
with your matching flashlight and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. I have a random collection of bits and bobs which are fairly well used, most of them, and things. Okay, that's good. So nothing too bad.
No, I mean, I did pick up a Marvel's pilot's knife. It's a giant fixed blade, and I'm glad I got it. It's a nice stacked leather handle. I just, like I said, I don't carry the fixed blades that much, and I'm thinking, when am I going to get a chance to use this? So it might just be a collector piece. I might just keep it in the collection.
I think that's the thing, and I've seen the number of knives that some collectors buy, and they buy like 3 at a time, you know, different colors or things. And I think, well, that's great, but I'd never carry them all either. But so I'm a bit too. I'm probably a bit tight actually as well when it comes to spending money. So I don't like to spend too much money on stuff that I know I'm not going to either use or
yeah. It's nice just to pick up knives that you think, hey, I want to be able to use this. I try to collect with that mindset that it's something I'm going to use, but every once in a while you get something like, I'm never going to use this. It's too nice, or why did I buy this? But and if that happens, you know, knives make really good gifts.
Yeah, I think it's fine too. I think if it's something that gives you pleasure, you know, and even if you're not going to use it, I think that's fine. And you know, in the end, it's down to people how they spend their money is up to them. And you know, and you know, people collect all sorts of things, stamps and knives, and you know, and watches. If you really want to spend a lot of money, get into collecting watches.
I find I don't wear watches as much because I used to sail a lot. You didn't want anything on your wrist. Now that I ride motorcycles, I put gloves on, and that watch is kind of in the way. But I went from collecting motorcycles. I think I have 6 motorcycles.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Get to a point where I shouldn't be collecting anymore. I don't have a place to put all these motorcycles. You got to maintain them. So once I discovered traditional pocket knives, I'm like, hey, these are so much easier to store. And so much less money, you know, for the price of just getting a set of tires for my motorcycle or one of my 6 motorcycles. Right. I buy a lot of really nice knives.
But you haven't got to the stage yet where you've sold a motorcycle to buy more knives, no?
No, I haven't. And I've considered thinning the herd, you know, like, but I do have each one of my motorcycle kind of serves a purpose. And I have a history where I either got a really good deal or I put some time and love into it. And it's like trying to get rid of a kid. And it's like, well, I'll just hold off on that. But no, I haven't sold any motorcycles for knives. I'm not to that point yet. I'm sure if I got injured on the job or was unemployed, I may stoop to that.
Okay. Yeah. So it's good to have that as an investment to fall back on. Yeah.
But I have collected enough knives in the past year that if I stop collecting, I think I'd have enough to get me through my lifetime for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that, and I've got about 30 knives, but I'm currently on a knife buying ban because we have one knife show a year in the UK. I think it's in November. So I've thought, right, okay, I'm going to stop buying knives now. I'm going to make videos on the other stuff I've got and to do some, and the whole point, I mean, my channel's meant to be EDC. I went down this sort of knife rabbit hole. So I want to do some other things as well. So I'm going to save a little bit of money so I can go to the knife show, and I probably want to get a nice sort of bushcraft fixed blade knife.
Oh yeah,
maybe something else as well. So I won't feel so guilty if I sort of, and I think the pleasure of buying it after I've had a ban will feel even better then.
But that's a great idea. It gives you a chance to save up for something. And what I'll do, like even during Christmas, there was all these sales going on, and I'm like, ooh, I'll get that and get that. And then after Christmas, all of a sudden these new patterns and stuff are dropping, vault patterns, and I'm like, oh no. So I'm trying to slow down my collecting and just kind of wait, because there always seems to be something new, or I got to get that. And so you don't even have to look anymore for knives. They'll just start coming to you.
you do the thrift shop or pawn shop or that sort of search as well?
I don't have very many antique stores or thrift stores around here. I do check some antique stores. I did buy an old case knife. A lot of them are really destroyed. I think there's more in the south of the United States and flea markets and stuff like that. And Big J hits flea markets, and I wish we had some big ones up here in the Northwest. There is some, but I don't think there's a lot of knife dealers and collectors of that sort. I think maybe if I traveled out to some smaller towns in summertime, I might find some of that, but
because we don't have that at all, really. I think we might have some boot fairs which might have a few knives, but I think it's just such a hassle for people to sell knives because they have to check that people are over 18 and things like that. So most people just don't sell them. They might sell them on Facebook maybe or Etsy or but not even on eBay. You don't get many knives on there at all. Right, it's come to that part which is my favorite part of the show, which is the keep, carry, scrap. So let me just put us into this format. And
so are you going to show them all at once or one at a time?
I'll show them all at once. I'm not that sophisticated, so you can look at them. I'll read out what they are. I won't tell you how much they cost, but so right, okay. I won't. I could build up the tension a bit here, as with your. Have you tried that technique of building up the tension on a video with other videos since that one?
Kind of. Sometimes I'll flash a spoiler about what's to come.
Oh,
I'll flash like, oh, look what I got. Oh, another, and so that give people an idea of what's to come. But yeah, sometimes if I know it's a one that people have been wanting to see, I'll sit there and talk for a bit in the beginning and try to build it up.
I think that's good because Paddy did that on his live show this week. I think he had a new knife, and he was making people wait for it. Okay, I won't wait anymore. So I've picked Barlows for you.
Oh, awesome!
And I picked 3 Boca Barlows because I had a skim down through your videos and I didn't see. So hopefully you haven't got any of these.
I do not have any Boca Barlows.
And so the first one. This is it's called integral copper. So I think the bolster is goes underneath the wood, so it doesn't have a liner. I think that's what they mean by integral.
Yeah, where the bolster and the liners are all one piece.
Yeah. So this is N690 stainless steel, copper and desert ironwood. The one in the middle is it's integral micarta and desert ironwood again, but it's leopard Damascus steel.
Oh, is the bolster micarta on that one?
Kind
of looks like
no, sorry. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
I don't know if I should tell you all this. It might influence you, but the leopard Damascus is the steel is from the gun barrel of a Leopard 1 battle tank.
Oh wow!
So I know Jesse McJames. He would, this would be his sort of military thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a Damascus, which people love or hate. And then the third one is the Boca Barlow Expedition, and that's brass and micarta. So you can keep one, and one is like a collectible, not to carry. One to carry, so that's a user, and one to scrap. One that you would have to give away to somebody.
Oh, wow, they're all so nice. I have to actually scrap one.
Yeah. That's a problem. So or give it away. Yeah. So we'd give it to Randy or somebody else. So
wow, that's a really tough one. Well, I don't have any Damascus, so I might keep the one in the center, the Damascus with the ironwood. I love desert ironwood. That would probably be more of a safe queen. Like keep that one. Yeah. But that would also make a great gift to somebody. That's very tough. I definitely would. Boy, this is really tough. I do like micarta a lot, so I'm torn between the desert ironwood and the brass micarta. Like both of them would be great carries, but if I have to give one away, oh, that's tough. I do like desert ironwood. Well, I guess if I'm keeping the desert ironwood and the Damascus in the middle,
Yeah,
I probably would carry the expedition brass and micarta, and then I wouldn't really scrap the other one, but I would give it as a gift. That's a great.
you'll give it away. That's the one you're not allowed to keep. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd definitely gift that one to somebody. I do like copper bolsters and copper liners. It makes for really smooth action. I do notice I don't carry my copper knives as much because my hands will smell like pennies afterward.
Yes, that's a problem with it, isn't it?
But if I'm keeping the one in the center as if I'm keeping that one, then that already has some desert ironwood, so I'd probably gift scrap the one on the
Okay, I think that's a really good. Shall I tell you how much? Because I looked on the US Amazon site for all of these, so these are all available actually,
and they're probably over $200 each.
Almost. So the one you've chosen to keep, and it was interesting that Damascus, that's 300 layer Damascus.
Oh wow.
So, I'm not a fan, but I think for that one I could become a fan. So that's just over $350. That one. The copper Barlow, that's $270.
Okay.
And then the expedition, the one you chose to carry, that's $187. And just it hasn't happened. I actually have that one.
Oh, cool.
So this is this was a knife that my sons gave me for my 60th birthday, and I have carried it a lot. So the blade's got a little bit scratched up because it's a nice sort of satin blade.
Oh, good. You're using it, yeah.
It's cheaper over here in the UK. I think Boca's quite expensive, but it's really nice. And the brass. Let me see if the brass is getting that nice sort of patina.
Yeah.
It feels really nice in the hand, and the micarta is really good. So this is my sort of fancy carry for special occasions. If I've got one, it's sort of a keeper now, but I like to use it as well. But so you would find I can recommend that as a carry actually, and it has quite a nice let me do it properly. It has a decent walk and talk. It's a bit more of a clunk than a click, but it's got a definite half stop and finish. The only thing I wasn't quite so keen on it was that it didn't come super sharp.
Oh, okay.
It was okay, but it was but it's a lovely knife, and you get it in a sort of a nice case as well. But
I'm a big fan of micarta. It makes for a good durable material. I think a bone's one of my favorites. But like if I'm on a workspace, and if I generally don't drop knives, but occasionally you may, micarta is not going to really get damaged like a bone.
It's not going to chip or scratch as much as it, and I think, and it does as well. I think it does change color a little bit, doesn't it? As you use it more, it is slightly porous. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That was it was fun. It was fun picking them out.
Very, very tough. Are these all Solingen, Germany made ones?
Yeah. So these are all German made, and they do some. I've never heard of the leopard Damascus steel either. I know that Steel City Knives, he's got one where the wood on the handle is from a castle in Germany, and so I think that's amazing if you're a collector. And the clip point's really nice. It's a nice.
I'm a huge clip point fan. I like the look of the clip points, especially on a Barlow. I have a few Arthur Wright and Sons that I'm really into. A lot of people are really into the spear point and drop points, and I know they're good practical blades. I just think this is more of a traditional looking.
Yeah, I like a worn cliff or a sheep's foot myself.
Those are awesome. Yeah,
I just like the shape of those, and especially on a slightly bigger knife as well. If it's anything other than a Victorinox, they also look a bit less threatening. The Warncliffe can look a bit pointy, but it's one of the things where you have to think about, you know, if I'm in the office, I only go in the office 1 day a week, but if I'm in the office and I get a knife out to cut up fruit, people will make comments if I had too big a knife or too pointy a knife. And it's not, I don't think it's a problem. I think they realize I'm not going to go around and try and poke them into people, but it's just one of those things. Okay, so thanks for that. Thanks for your guesses on, well, not guesses, choices on that.
Very tough. Very
tough. And of course, if anybody who's watching is interested in buying those, I'll put some of my Amazon links in the bottom, and you won't get them cheaper, but it adds a little bit to help run the channel, which is always good. But I really enjoyed looking for those. Last question then, Andrew. So what do you want to do with your channel in the future as you get more experience? I mean, because you're only in the first year, which is not so long at all. Hopefully just
past my first year, and it's been such a whirlwind. I haven't really even thought about it too much, but I would like to do, like I said, some more editing. I would like to meet up with some other channels in my local area, which would be cool to do some gathering.
Have you had a meetup with anybody yet?
Last summer I met up with a Big Red EDC. He lives across the water. I wanted to hand off a traveling knife to him. I was going to be in the area for Memorial. I asked him if he wanted to go to lunch, so we were able to have lunch and meet.
Ah, good.
Kirby Creek Mo, he's just up here north of me, and I thought about we've been him and I think it's Pete of Nice Slice. He's up in British Columbia, and we were talking about doing kind of a Northwest gathering. But as summer's coming, I know we're all busy, but maybe we'll just hook up for a day. It'd be nice to do some collaboration videos. They all have such a great sense of humor, and we could probably find something fun to do. I would like to do some, like I said, more editing, do some kind of more funny little short films. But other than that, I haven't really had a chance to think about, like, where am I taking my channel? It's pretty much just going to be more of the same. I do have a lot of case knives that I show, so I'm trying to branch out a little bit more and, you know, review other things, not just be a case knife channel. Yeah. But my channel has already evolved from more of the budget-friendly Rough Riders and Frost knives, the $10, $12, $15 knives. I have been getting more into the American-made knives and the knives that were, I thought, too expensive at the time, but now I find that we're worth the money to save up and get a really nice knife instead of a bunch.
So has your sort of ceiling price for knives?
It used to be.
That's a common thing, isn't it? Yeah.
To be like $85 or $89 was the absolute most I ever spent on a knife, and now it's that. The buck of the month, that April buck of the month, I think they're asking $165. I tend to find discounts somehow, and so I get some sort of break. So that was almost $150, less than $150. But and then I actually did pick up a GEC recently, which was probably marked up $50 more than when they first came out. But these drops go so fast. That actually turns out it is my most expensive knife. So I don't know how much I'm going to use that, but tend not to lose on any of the GECs for sure. No. I'm just amazed I was able to find it.
I think I know for a few of the guys in the Discord, you know, part of the fun for them is tracking stuff down,
especially the older ones. Older knives, older cases.
Yeah, I was really lucky. I think the most expensive knife I bought, I think, was about 60 pounds, so about $65 or so, and that was at Sharp Show, and that was a case, a swayback jack, which was sort of new old stock, so new in box but old. A guy that was selling them. The Boca one was a gift, so I haven't spent more than that yet. I've always focused on budget, but partly because I don't have a lot of spare money for this, or that I'm able to spend on this, and but also because I feel quite strongly about there being budget options for things. It's one of the things that's disappointed me with a couple of the channels that I used to watch a lot before I started my own channel. Things like Best Damned EDC, and a lot of the stuff on there is just incredibly, it's all titanium, brass, leather, and it's fantastic stuff. But I think he had a video where he was doing everyday carry stuff under $20, and he didn't put a knife forward for under $20 because he said there wasn't one suitable other than some utility knives. So I did a video saying, well, here are 7 knives that are all good, things like a Mora fixed knife, they're cheap, they're really good. You can break 10 of those, and for the price of some of the other knives that people have. There are still some. It's a bit of a stretch in dollars, but there are still some Victorinox under £20 or $20. Not so many, but there are knives out there. And if you're starting with EDC and you don't have much money, and you want to have a flashlight, a knife, and a couple of other things, you don't need to go for these really expensive. I always think if you go for something that's reliable and cheap first, and that's a user, and then if it's something that you're going to do more with, then you spend more money on. Like, I guess it's the same with collecting. When you realize that this collecting is your thing, and you're going to be in it for the long haul, and I think it's always good to have a YouTube channel as an excuse to buy stuff as well. That'll make a great video, won't it?
I've noticed that has happened to me for sure. I don't know if I'd have quite as many if I didn't have my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And as far as pricey knives, I don't buy $300 knives because I'd be too terrified to carry it.
Yeah, that's my issue. I have lost stuff, and it amazes me with people who still have knives that they had when they were children or teenagers. I haven't got any of those because I used to go fishing and lose them. And anyway, that's good. It sounds like you are a definite YouTuber now, Andrew, and that you're going to be around for some time. I think it would be great for you to have have a lot more music as well. I think that would be good. With your shorts, one of the things I liked about your shorts was the music choice.
I like to do a wide variety because there's so much good music out there. I don't want to stick to just one genre like country or rock and roll. There's just so many good songs out there, and it really does attract a wide variety of people in too. Yeah,
that's great. So thanks for that. I think we've come to the end of the questions, and it's been great talking to you. For those that haven't, and I can't believe there are many, if you haven't already subscribed to Andrew at Baxter's Blades, please do. I'll put a link in the description below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I've got more of these confidential chats. And even if you don't want to watch it, just put it on while you're in the car listening to it. Hopefully you'll find it interesting. There's not always so much to see, but hopefully you enjoy the chat as well. So a big thank you to Andrew for coming on today, and look out for him on RJ's Lives and his own channel. And I'll close it there. So thanks to everybody for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for that.
Thank you, MB.